Yeah, they sent me a letter soon. My World War II records was destroyed, but my Korean records was all intact. So I don't, how, Nick, would you make a claim? You know, I got sinus trouble. I've got, ever since the Battle of the Bulge, I went over, I couldn't breathe. I went over to, they took me by truck over to battalion headquarters. A doctor there. We had every outfit has its own doctor. We had our doctor, and he worked on me, and he took a big wad of cotton, and he kept twisting it, pulling it, twisting it, pulling it. He had about 8, 9 inches of it. He'd dip it down in some kind of solution, stick it up my nose. I was worried. I said, what the hell happens if that damn thing breaks off halfway my nose? And he, on both sides, he's done that, and gave me a bunch of pills. But he told me, he says, I'm going to have, he says, I got chronic sinus trouble. He says, you're going to have this until the day you die. And he was right, because I have to have 2 handkerchiefs with me all the time. Like right now, I've been pretty lucky. Which reminds me, I got to blow my nose. Pardon me. Now, it gets so bad that if I go in a restaurant, I can't enjoy a good meal, because every so often I gotta stop eating, and if I lean over a little bit, clear white liquid, it comes running out of my nose, and I don't even feel it coming out or anything. Just there, it's there. So I have to keep making sure I got my handkerchiefs with me all the time. I can't file a claim though. So I don't know what the heck I can do about that. Maybe I have to see a lawyer or something. I only get two pills through the VA, both for high blood pressure. That's all I have to use. Just 2 pills. And I'm 93. I know a lot of my buddies, they got a whole drawer full of pills they take every day. And another thing too is the buzz bombs. Memories are.
Joe talked about those.
I think so.
Whenever we was at St. Vith, I'm on a hill, top of a hill, and I can see off in the distance on the other mountain, on the other side, I can see this orange glow coming out, you know, the peaks getting bigger and bigger and bigger and noisier, and it's them buzz bombs. And as long as you can hear them and see them, you're all right. But whenever they shut off, everybody runs for a hole, because it's coming down. And I'd watch them go over. And sometimes when they was going over, you could almost count the rivets in the damn thing. So low they were. Oh man. And then you could hear about a mile or 2 on behind him, a big explosion. That'd be the bomb going off. And they didn't care who you were, what you were. They just, whenever they wanted to blow up, they blew up.
What did the average soldier know about, like, Nazi Germany? Like, did you just think you were going to war, or did you know why? Because I mean, like now I read history books, I realize
Oh,
why you
yeah,
went to
no.
war. But back
No.
then, they probably just pulled you in and said,
They give us a deal that you could, uh, Nazi Germany is. We didn't even know anything. Then later on, we found out about the Jews.
"Yeah, That's what I was going to say." So you hear about they invaded Poland, which started with
Yeah.
France and Britain, and then obviously you guys got involved after Pearl Harbor. But
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know. I'm curious how much soldiers were left out of the loop on a lot of things. Because I read back in a history book, I could see everything that happened as it went on. But you guys just took it as you learned it.
Oh, yeah, we learned it all right. We learned it the hard way. We was in the bombings over in England. I landed in East in Liverpool, not East Liverpool. I landed in Liverpool, England. I was on it was a Manhattan luxury liner. They renamed it USS Wakefield. And when I'm on that ship, I was looking, they had the Navy guys, they had like a B platoon scrubbing the B weather deck forward. Well, that was my post on the ship, B weather deck forward. And here, one of the guys who was swabbing the deck was from North Beaver Avenue. I went to school with him, Milo Nish. He's a Serbian boy. And I see, this is Milo. He looked at me, he says, "Hey, Golixer." But we couldn't talk because his officers hanging over his head, so he had to keep doing his job. But that's where you find people. I mean, just out of blue sky, you see somebody you know. I went, after the war was over, I went to Regensburg, Germany, and we went there just for the day. We go on different excursions like this. That you have a truck going through different parts. Like we went to Nuremberg. I seen this big stadium. You still see it on where the Germans. How many Germans? Big flags hanging down. It was a big stadium where the Olympics were back in '36. And I was watching, there was 2 baseball fields. This was on that field. There was 2 baseball fields there. On one of the fields was the 71st Division playing the 73rd Division, baseball. And that's what we was watching. And over to the right there was 2 football fields, a soccer field, and back and forth there was a plane landing on the backside, just where the flags and stuff used to be. They was landing, and there was like a runway there. And it was enormous. I couldn't believe it. How big that stadium was. It still is. It's still there. It was supposed to be some big deal that Hitler wanted. Well, he wanted it for the '36 Olympics. But the more I talked to the German people, the more I found out. I was on a switchboard in about next town over from Munich, down southern Germany. Mark Graffing was the name of the town. And there was a big hotel there, and I was manning their switchboard. We had all the military stuff going into the switchboard, so I could talk to. I had one switch I'd throw and I could talk to Wax over in Paris. It was interesting, you know. But I mean, that was part of our job. The switchboards, communications, and when I was there was this one little scrawny looking boy would come to the window and he'd want me to give him my clothes for his mother to wash. And he talked pretty damn good English. And he told me that they live on the outskirts of town, Mark Graffing. And he says that his father was the burgermeister of that Mark Graffing. He said, but the Nazis, he talked about the Nazis. He says, the Nazis came in, got a hold of his father. He was the burgermeister. And because he was against Hitler. So they took him, threw him in a concentration camp. He says he didn't, they lived in a big house in Mark Graffing for a burgermeister's house. And he says they threw them out, his family out. They were like dispossessed. So they was living on the edge of his town. So I gave them my clothes, and boy, my clothes come back so nice and clean. And I'd pay him money, and they were so hungry. Every time we got our meal, I'd pick one of the German kids and I'd feed them. I'd eat so much, and then I'd give them the rest. At least some of the kids were. I always took care of the kids. We always, the candy we collected and stuff during the, in our rations and stuff, I'd give to the kids. It was something we just did. That's all. We took but he told me about his father. He says one day they came, they got his mother and him, because he was the oldest son. And he was 16 years old, but he looked like he was about 12, you know what I mean? They was starving him. So they took him and his mother to the concentration camp, and they saw him there at the concentration, the father. He said, then about 2 weeks later, they got a notice in the mail that he was dead. They tortured him. So I got to know a little bit about what was going on. That was their people. He was German, you know. He was born and everything German, but that's the kind of the Nazis were more brutal.